Hi, I'm Caden, and this is Main Sequence Devlog number 2. First, I want to thank everyone who's checked out the playtest so far. The response has been fantastic, and I've loved looking at all the cool things people have built. The sign up for the playtest will be open for a few more weeks, so come and check it out on the Steam page if you're interested. If you've already registered, you will still have access to the playtest even after this round of signups closes. After spending a few weeks focusing on bug fixes and small improvements, I'm now back to adding new content for the game. In this devlog, I'll show you how I made some of the things in the most recent content update to the playtest, as well as preview some of the things coming in the next update. The focus of the most recent update was improving factory logistics. Of course, at the heart of all factory games are conveyor belts, and so the first thing I wanted to do was add upgraded versions of those. The models for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 conveyor belts were part of the art that I commissioned for the game earlier, but the Tier 2 was missing models for the splitter and underground belts, so that's where I started. For the splitter, I knew that the Tier 2 option would enable you to set filters for items, so I wanted to add a computer screen to hint at its configurability. For the underground, I added a bit more plating to match the style of the taller guardrails on the Tier 2 conveyor belts. Designing Tier 3 was challenging. It was hard to make the belts look more advanced than the Tier 2 models while staying in the same footprint, but what I ended up settling on was adding more guardrails and supports, as well as changing some of the panels to help make them more visually distinct. The Tier 3 splitter and underground belts follow the same theme, with more guardrails and different paneling. Going into the Unreal Engine editor and setting up the new conveyor belts involves a lot of filling in the little details that each new machine needs. I was able to use the existing conveyor belt as a template, and for the visual model I just had to update all of the different meshes for each of the input configurations and change the speed of the animated conveyor belt texture. I also needed to set up the building cost and update the icon and details. Then, I added the research entries that would unlock the new conveyor belts and reorganize the existing research entries around it. For the splitters, I had to add a new window that would let the player set filters, as well as update the splitter code to allow filtering. In addition to coding the new functionality for the splitters, I also had to add safeguards when loading splitters from saved games, to make sure that the new splitters were compatible with existing save files. The new update also has an improved version of the dock. Like the conveyor belts, this uses the existing dock as a template, which means that the only things needed to set up are the new model, as well as adjusting things like connectors and docking location. With the new dock having 4 times as many ports as the old one, and the new Tier 3 conveyor belts being 3 times faster, the max unloading rate of docks is now 12 times faster overall, for a total of 1,440 items per minute. As someone in the Discord pointed out, since an unupgraded ship can carry 1,200 items, that means that you can completely unload a ship in just 50 seconds. The other new logistic block in the update, which wasn't based on any existing ones, was the item elevator. Implementing this actually required overcoming an oversight in my original implementation of the factory floor building. When I first coded it, I assumed that all of the inputs and outputs for a machine would be on the same height. Unfortunately, changing that now would mean having to re-enter all of the existing machine port data, so instead I looked for an alternative. Working around existing code is a lot like when you're playing Factorio and need to get one belt of something all the way across your base when you didn't plan for it. You just have to try and fit it in wherever you can. In this case, I could override a function that's called when the elevator is placed, and make every other port data entry added to the top of the elevator. If I end up adding more machines with different build heights, then I'll have to rework this system again, but for now, it gets the job done. With the logistics update done, there are 2 more content updates before all of the content in the demo is completed. The goal of these updates is to add more horizontal progression rather than vertical progression. In other words, side quests. The first alternate progression path is through interacting with the human faction. While trading is a common mechanic in space sims, I didn't want to add a sort of item economy that would devalue the efforts that go into building factories. So, instead of trading goods, you'll be able to accept missions, most of which will be requests for items, in exchange for receiving credits that you can use to buy new blueprints and decorations for your ships and stations. Some of the blueprints you can buy will be purely decorative, but others will be new technology specific to the human faction. One of these new technologies that you'll be able to unlock fairly early in the game is the small teleporter, which will let you fast travel to other teleporter pads on the same station. The other alternate progression path is by researching alien technology, which you can salvage from the alien ships you destroy. Following this upgrade path will let you unlock upgraded versions of existing technology, such as improved ship thrusters and weapons, more efficient solar panels, and faster conveyor belts. Since you'll need alien technology to craft these upgrades as well as research them, there will also be a way to produce alien technology shards yourself. When you destroy an alien base or spawner, it will drop an alien core, which you'll be able to use to craft a station module that passively produces the required shards. So, the more alien bases you destroy, the faster your shard production rate will be. For those who want to play in peaceful mode, you'll be able to unlock the same technology by trading with the human faction for alien shards and cores in order to get started. The goal of these additions is to add more goals to build your factories around, and to make the universe a little more lively. Now, there will be stronger incentives and rewards for building ships suited for combat and exploration, and more technology to unlock with the items you produce in your factories. In the future, the interactions with the alien and human factions will be even more in-depth, with different enemy bases and stations to find in the different star systems you'll be able to explore. If you like these behind-the-scenes looks at main sequence, then make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to get notified about future updates. And while you're checking out the playtest on Steam, consider adding main sequence to your wishlist. It helps a ton. Until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time!